What's up, YouTube? It's just Brandy, and let's talk Real Housewives of Atlanta. So this was the final episode for the trip to Tokyo, and it wasn't a lot to me in this episode. It was kind of just to close the trip. They finally did have a bachelorette party for Eva, and it's so crazy to me. This whole trip was supposed to be about Eva because they didn't get to celebrate her bachelorette party in Miami. They were supposed to be having like a redo in Tokyo, but it really didn't seem like it was focused on Eva, and it was a bachelorette type of trip. They had a lot of fights, a lot of altercations as per usual. The bachelorette party that Tanya through, everybody was like, it's boring. It wasn't the typical raunchy type of bachelorette, but I feel like there are two kinds of every type of party. So some people go for the raunchy bachelorette, drunk party, penis straws, penis suckers, raunchy games. And then some people go more towards the classy type of thing. So it's just all about what you're into. Tanya, I guess, is more of a classy type of person, so the type of stuff that she picked was, more dull for the rest. I would say, though, know your audience. That's something that, she doesn't really know Eva, so how can you throw somebody a party and you don't even really know her? Like, you should ask her, what does she want, or what do you think the ladies would want, since this is for y'all. But anyway, everybody was able to get along, so that was nice. It wasn't a fight. Usually it ends up being some type of altercation. Portia and Candy made up or whatever, since Candy was saying Portia baby daddy was with other women or whatever. But to me, the most important thing about this whole episode was the theme of check on your strong friends. Like, that's been a thing recently in memes and stuff like that. Like, check on your strong friends, because Nene always seems like she has it together. She seems like she's handling everything. She's such a boss. She's running her family. And this whole cancer situation and just the ups and the downs of the journey of going through cancer and cancer treatment, and just because her husband, the highs and lows, you're talking about life and death. So as a person, Greg, is going through that, and he's facing his mortality and a question mark of, am I going to live? Is this going to work? Is this going to be enough? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decision? That can cause you to have waves of emotions and ups and downs. And because of that, you lash out to the people that are around you, and those usually happen to be your family members, because that's who's there. And so they get that misplaced anger and frustration, and are trying to deal with it. They're trying to support you, they're trying to be there for you, and they're also facing those same fears of, am I gonna lose this person, what's going on, whatever. And so it's a very hard situation to be in, and everybody has a breaking point. And I feel like she just hit her breaking point where it was just too much, and she just could not take anymore. And then just as women in general, especially black women, like she said, I don't want to hear nothing about being strong, because it's like, as black women, we are expected to be strong. We're expected to be able to take everything and it not phase us. And it's unhealthy, because nobody is that strong. Even it's like that we suffer in silence because we're afraid to speak up. We're afraid, we don't have that person to lean on, and everybody needs to have that person to lean on, to vent to be able to be vulnerable with. It's like, as black women, you can't be vulnerable, because then you're perceived as weak, but you have to be the strong black woman. It's not just the angry black woman stereotype, it's the strong black woman stereotype as well, that you have to be strength for everybody. but who is the strength for you? So I feel like, you know, that was something in this episode that they really tried to show that even your strongest friends, the people that you think have it all together, the people that, you know, never show emotion, never cry, that, you know, say tears is for suckers or whatever, they're people too. They have emotions too. They can only take so much too. And you know, it showed that. I mean, even when she called and she was pouring her heart out to her husband, she's like, we haven't been talking this trip. I don't know what's going on. You're not talking to me. I'm not doing well because of our lack of communication. I need that from you. I need to know what's going on. We need to be in communication. And he just was like, oh, well, you know, I'm sorry. And she's like, but I've heard sorry. And that's the thing. People think apologizing fixes everything. Apologizing does not fix anything. Apologizing and corrective action is what makes that apology mean something. Your apology doesn't mean anything if your actions do not reflect what you are sorry for. And that's what people need to understand. It's fine to be sorry, but if it happens again in the future or continually happens again and again, then you didn't mean that apology. That was just something that you said to appease me in the moment. But if you take that corrective action, then I know that you heard me and that you were sorry, because now you are making an effort to change that behavior. So he sent her this massive floral arrangement and this whole letter. But you know what? I get the feeling that Greg is the type of person that he knows all the right things to say. So he can eloquently say, oh, you're this, you're my that. I can't be this without you. But the action is not there. The change in behavior is not there. And that's why when she got those flowers and she cried and she still was not happy, because she knows, like she said, I have heard this time and time again, but we're still in this place. And I feel like we're headed back to divorce. And, you know, so, you know, that's what it was to me for this episode. That was the most that I got out of the episode was the whole breakdown with Nene, and, you know, her just reaching her breaking point and not really knowing what to do. And I think maybe she probably needs to go talk to somebody, like some sort of like counseling, just to be able to get those feelings out, express that, be able to be vulnerable with somebody, be able to just say things and not be judged, and say, you know, I hate my husband today. I love him, and I'm sorry that he's going through cancer, but I hate him today for how he is treating me. And that it can be okay, because you can't say that to your friends, like, I hate him today, because they'll be like, oh my God, he has cancer. Like, you can't do him like that. But what about me? So I get to just be his punching bag and he can say anything and do anything to me? No. So check on your strong friends. That's my recap of this episode. I will see you next week for my recap of next week's episode. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Later.